Well, good evening and welcome to our regular meeting for January. Glad you could join us. We like to begin each meeting with a moment of silence and would invite you to join us if you care to. Thank you. First off is approval of tonight's agenda. Without objection, we will approve tonight's agenda. The agenda for January 21st regular meeting is approved. Celebrating our successes, Dr. Thorson.
Well, we wanted to celebrate the success of our school board. We consider it a blessing to work for you guys, and I think I've said before that we read the e-clippings every day, and we read stories about school boards all across the state, and we're very thankful for the 5 school board members that we have. And we wanted to say thank you to you guys tonight. So we have a little, this is something kind of practical. We know that your iPads aren't brand new, and sometimes the batteries start wearing down, so that's a power pack so you can recharge your iPad and keep up with your school district business when you're maybe not away from
He's looking straight at me when he said that. Did you see that?
We all are.
But we do want to thank all 5 of you for what you do, because y'all, you know, I was just kind of thinking over the weekend, you don't have to do this. It's not like you get paid big bucks to do this, and not too many people want to come out to, you know, a meeting or 2 every month and spend a lot of time like you guys do. So we appreciate what you do, and we're thankful for your concern for students and just the well-being of our community. So just want to celebrate you guys tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next, special recognition, Dr. Thorson again.
I do, and I'm going to get you to come down front. And the School Boards Association keeps up with school board member service, and y'all, this is a pretty monumentous accomplishment here. But Mr. Lee has now served 30 years as a school board.
Wow.
He came on and did 16 years starting in 1978, did 16 years, and then took a break for a little while, then came back in 2006, and has been serving another 14 years and has 2 more years on his term, so he'll have 32 years before he even has to get reelected again. So School Boards Association just has a service award and a pin with a 30 on it that he can wear on his lapel. So we want to congratulate Mr. Lee tonight for 30 years of faithful service to Oconee County.
I was 10 years old when I was elected.
Do you know how old I'll be if I did that? I'll be 100. 30 years.
Okay, Pledge of Allegiance and school highlight. Ms. Gambrell, West Oak Middle School.
I have Will Holman with me tonight. He is an 8th grader. He is a part of our youth team at West Oak Middle School, so he is going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Good job.
I'm going to start us off this evening. Thank you for having us. I'm going to do a few highlights, but the main focus that Mr. Odom and I are here to emphasize is that our school focus is Choose Love this year. A lot of our elementary schools are going through Olveus, but West Oak Middle School is going through Choose Love. But I have a few clippings with some pictures of highlights that our students have been a part of this year. And like I said before, I'll begin it and Mr. Odom will conclude it for us. And we're happy to have Mr. Odom back after him being out for a few months. Okay. This is where we have See You at the Pole every year, and our middle school has a huge FCA, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We're continuing to grow, and when we were beginning to choose love, our FCA staffing, we have a staff team of different students from 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. They came to us, and because of us having Choose Love, they wanted to have special prayer times at the pole. So it just wasn't for See You at the Pole, but any tragedy or any crisis that we have had throughout the school year. And if you've kept up with us, we've had a rough year, but God's still good, and He's getting us through it. But this is one of our pictures that we had at See You at the Pole and prayer. One of the highlights is something that we started this year. This is Club Days. We're having Club Days once a month. It's the last Friday of each month. When students came to register with us in August, they had 33 clubs to choose from. Any club, we had a cooking club, we have a ceramic club, if you can see we have ping pong. We even have a gaming club. They're making paper airplanes. So we've got 33 for them to choose from, and they are able to rotate throughout the year, and they're able to be involved in 3 different clubs. This is an incentive program that we have. We do not, we allow every student to participate, whether they are passing all their grades or all their classes. Even with discipline issues, we just feel that students need to connect with different teachers around the school. Now, Wow Day, this is something that West Oak Middle School has had before I was principal there, and this is my 2nd year as principal there. This is for students that are passing all their classes with no major referrals, and each quarter they're able to have a Wow Day. What we do is we have a PM activity schedule, an hour at the end of the day, and they are able to participate in 15 different Wow games. Ms. Brookie, Ms. Owens, Mr. Odom, they do a good job coming up with different games, and you can see that they're trying to eat Oreos from their nose, and then we have Amazing Shake, and then we also have different other clubs. And we try to base it on the different, like the Christmas theme was our first Wow Day. So we had a lot of Christmas games going on. And what this is we have so many from 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And then we also have them compete against each other, but the teachers are involved, and they are very competitive. So the students are also competing against the faculty as well. And they go for blood, let me tell you. This is something, and I'm fixing to turn it over to Mr. Odom because he's here to give his part, his testimony. This is something that we had when Mr. Odom was sick. The students just ran straight up to me, and they were saying, let's choose love. Let's do this. This is what we want to do for Mr. Odom. And we did have a certain time that we had for another student at our school that was going through a crisis as well. But the FCA and some of the cheerleaders and some of the band members wanted to have prayer time at the pole for Mr. Odom. And we have just opened up our arms to our kids, and they're running with this Choose Love. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Odom, and he's going to give you a few details and give his testimony as well for Choose Love.
Not the whole testimony, that would take about another 30 minutes.
That's right.
I don't want to do that. Just a little bit, and y'all probably know, I'm going to drop those on the over there. Choose Love was founded by Scarlett Lewis, who was the mother of a child, Jesse Lewis, who was killed at Sandy Hook. And she started this was about her journey of forgiveness and how she could mourn and take care of that. And she came up with 4 character traits, and those traits were courage, gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion in action. And with 2019 being a challenging year, she really set in motion through our people of what was going on. It began actually before we actually adopted this. In February of 2019, we had a student B.J. Holbrooks, who lost his house completely burned up. And they gathered around and they rallied around and they raised about $2,600 for this family to help them with food and gifts and stuff like that. In August, Miss Amber Freeman, one of our 8th grade teachers, she lost her husband tragically in a car accident. They said, we want to do something, so they sat around. They raised $2,500 to help pay for funeral expenses. In May, Miss Lisa Curry found out her husband had pancreatic cancer. He lost that battle in January. They said, we need to do something. So they sat around and they went and raised enough money to pay for their tickets to go to MD Anderson in Houston, Texas for some possible treatments and to help him. But like I said, unfortunately, he lost his battle this past January, but he made it through the holidays, made it through the new year, and that was good for them, and they just reached out of the way. Miss Kim Jordan, who was one of our 6th grade teachers, Christmas morning found her 22-year-old daughter passed away in the bed. We're going to do something. School West Oak, let's get together, and they raised over $1,500 for her. When I was going through everything that I was going through, they sat down and they said, let's pray. Let's pray. And they sent me this one in the hospital. And I know it's a little wrinkled, but I've had it. But it's just, you know, where they've signed it and they've picture of them standing around the pole. And this wasn't the only time. I understand they did this twice for me. Sorry, I can't remember. I don't remember 2 weeks of my life as it was going through. But that was part of what they did. They raised money to help with some of our medical expenses and stuff. Blue Cross and Blue Shield does pay very well, by the way. If you don't have it, it's a good one. They did a lot for us. And they raised over $2,500 plus. We had a special benefit at our church for me to go along with it. Well, the school got together and the teacher and the students brought in stuff for a yard sale to help go with that. In between all of that and everything, and what the church was able to give us, West Oak, and we raised over $18,000 in 2019 to help families and myself be here. You see the stack of Get Well card. This is just a little token of what I've got at home. They lined the hallways of stuff outside my office. They said my office was full. I didn't get to see it, but they were really behind this Choose Love. And my wife needed something to get her through this, and one of the students, this is not a faculty member, wrote this, and she was looking for a sign, and it just kept coming back. And it's Isaiah 41:10. It says, fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, and I will help you. I will hold you with my righteous hand, righteous right hand. And some people say it's removed, but I think it was what my wife needed. So the whole West Oak community, the whole Oconee County community, because there were people praying all over the place. I'm here today because of them. And I was speaking with our school resource officer the other day, and he was making the comment, 2019 was a rough year. I said, no, 2019 was a great year. I said, because look at the way the students adopted this Choose Love, and they've shown this compassion in action. And if we can get them to gain that same fire for their learning and stuff like that, you'll see what great people are out at West Oak. We get knocked sometimes because we are struggling to be where we want to be. But guess what? This is one area that I don't see anybody topping us. Our kids love people. Our kids trust God's going to make things happen. And I'm praying that God will continue to honor them for their success in caring for others, that eventually it'll show in the classroom like we want it to. So keep praying for West Oak. Keep lifting us up, because we're praying for y'all. And if you need somebody, I know some praying people here at West Oak Middle School. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Gambrell, Mr. Odom. Good to have you with us. Public comment, Ms. Gibson. Anyone sign up? Nothing? Okay. Approval of minutes, December 9th, regular board meeting, December 13th, the special call board meeting. Anyone see any errors in those minutes? Without objection, we will approve the minutes. The minutes of December 9th regular meeting and December 13th special meeting are approved. Okay, action items, local board approved courses. Ms. Simmons.
Yes, sir. I had presented to you all the 3 new local board approved courses that we have up for your review. At the last meeting that I reviewed these, went into some detail about those 3 courses. One is Marching Band Auxiliary Color Guard 2, which is an extension of Marching Band Winter Guard. The second level, we approved the level 1 last year, so Mr. Udell at Walhalla High School is continuing to build that program. Our second course was Emergency Communications at Hamilton Career Center with Mr. Jenkins, teaching students on the communication skills related to dispatching. So that is another type of program that they would like to add at the Career Center. And then sports journalism at West Oak High School is another course that we would like to add. They lost their theater program, so this is a course that they feel like would bring in some good interest with their students at West Oak High School to replace that course of theater that they had before. If there are any other specific questions about any of the courses, I'd be more than happy to answer those. And all the other courses that are on the list that are not highlighted are because we've been offering them and y'all have approved them before, so we don't have to go through the application process with those classes.
Any questions on the local board approved courses?
These are for one unit's credit.
Pardon?
These are for 1 unit's credit.
It depends on the course. So Color Guard is like a year-long 1-unit course.
If you look at the 2 letters
It'll
on the
tell you.
course number, C means college prep, if the H was where the C was, it would mean honors, and there's an A for advanced placement, and then the last letter in the sequence, which would be the 8th character in the sequence, H is half, W is whole. So if you see a H, it's a half credit. If you see a W, it's a whole credit.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Is there a motion on the local board approved courses?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the 3 new local courses to be added to this list.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. Discussion. Motion of local board approved courses. All in favor? Thank you. Unanimous. The 2021 school calendar, Mr. Hanby or Dr. Thorsland is addressing that.
I'll be happy to start. Mr. Hamby can chime in if I miss something, but of course we're just kind of rehashing what we talked about last week, and then in December at the legislative delegation meeting that we hosted here in the office, there has been quite a bit of encouragement from different sectors of our community to make sure that schools started on the same day for elementary schools and then middle high schools. So our delegation kind of encouraged us to do that as well, and after our discussion last week, we would like to recommend that all of our schools use the August 10th, which is the second Monday start calendar. You can see it on the screen. 88-day first semester, 92-day second semester. It will allow us to complete the first semester before the Christmas break for our high schools, which to me is very important. And we feel very positive about this calendar and think it's best for all of our schools to start on August 10th.
The only thing I will add is that we will, if you approve this, we will have to tweak the employee calendar just a little bit with when the elementary teachers, or elementary schools open back up, and so they'll basically come back a week earlier than normal, but get the end of June off.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna still work the same number of days. It's just a matter of when the extra week happens. So they'll start the same time middle school does. if this is approved. So we'll just tweak a few little things, but it's important for us that we start on that. I know having a student who was at the Oconee campus and needing to finish up and do that. We need to get our kids their exams before Christmas so that second semester kids don't miss a week or more of class. So.
Any questions of Dr. Thorson or Mr. Handy? Is there a motion on the 2021 school calendar?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the 2020-2021 school calendar.
I'll second that.
Motion is second to approve the 2021 school calendar. All schools will start on August 10th this year. Any further discussion? Those in favor? It's unanimous. Next is second reading approval of policy IKAA test and examinations exemptions. Do you want to address that, Dr. Thorson, or what, Ms.
I will, yeah. Ms. Simmons just told me I could speak. So we have discussed this several times since last summer. If you remember, the 3 high school principals came in to our school board retreat and expressed concern that some of our brightest students were not getting prepared for college because they were going through their high school careers, not taking any exams. And they made the recommendation that we would do away with exam exemptions. And I believe when we left that summer meeting, we were kind of just aiming towards not having any exam exemptions. But we wanted to, matter of fact, y'all may have encouraged us to run it by student advisory. So the first student advisory meeting this year, we discussed the policy with them, and they, I won't say begged, but they came up with the idea that maybe seniors that should be a senior privilege, that they get to exempt 9th through 11th graders would take exams with no exemptions. And that way everybody would get practice with cumulative exams, but there would kind of be a carrot out there for seniors. We adopted that. We discussed it once more with student advisory at our second meeting, and there was concern voiced actually from students, which that impressed me, about seniors not having the motivation to actually be at school during the second semester. Get senioritis a little bit early, and if they know exams aren't out there and there's no requirement really to be at school in order to exempt your exams. So they recommended that we put the 5 days in. And that was the policy that I sent out early last week, just as one final check with the principals, just to make sure that I had captured everything that we discussed. And then Friday, after Ms. Gibson had already sent this to you, I did get feedback from a couple of principals, but that they still want to talk a little bit more. Evidently some teachers and maybe a couple of folks have expressed some concern about all seniors getting to exempt. I have pretty strong feelings about this. I'm just going to be open, but I don't know if we're quite ready to ask for final reading, and I apologize for it being on the agenda, but it came up Friday afternoon, or it might have been Thursday afternoon, but it was just after Ms. Gibson sent the agenda out. So rather than try to send another whole agenda and that kind of thing, we did talk to a couple of the principals on the phone this morning, and I think if it's not asking too much, I'd love for y'all to table this until probably the March meeting. That'll give us a chance to go before parent advisory and student advisory one more time, and I'd like to possibly go talk to some teachers about it as well. So I hate to be wishy-washy, but I do want to make sure that we have a policy that we've vetted as thoroughly as we need to.
Well, it's not effective, like you said, until next year.
Not effective until next year anyway.
60-day delay is not going to hurt anything. Okay. Any comments or questions on that?
Do we need a motion to
Yes,
table
we
it?
need a motion to table it for further review by the Student and Parent Advisory Council and some of the principals.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to table policy, second reading of policy IKAA test and examination exemptions for a little further review. Any discussion? Those in favor? We'll have it back on the agenda hopefully by
What
March.
I'd like to do is have it on the March work session. Try to have it on the agenda so we can discuss it again and make
Yeah.
sure you understand fully what the changes have been, if there are any, and then you can vote in March, final reading again.
Okay. That agreeable with everyone? Okay. All right. And that concludes the open session portion of our meeting. Again, thank you for being here. We will move into closed session and we'll return after that to take any action required by closed session for employment recommendations and changes and an update on the Seneca Middle School property. We'll move into closed session. Thank you.